me go back here. So insert, remember, like I said, so that was Smart Art. These are just a couple add-ons. I would not get into purchasing anything here on Microsoft. It really is a headache. So I'm not going to get into that, but it costs a lot of money. So I'm not going to go into that feature there. This goes right to Wikipedia. Remember, Wikipedia is on the web. That is not, 100% accurate all the time. So, just be careful when you're using that. If you wanted to put an online video, you can put an online video in there. Okay. Remember we talked about hyperlink. So if I wanted something to say, see my weather, and then remember, so that's your text, and then I'm going to put at the bottom, remember you got to type everything out, weather.com, and then hit OK. Okay, so I want to see, like, so you can click on that. Click on it, Gary. Okay, and it will go right to the weather. There it is. Okay. All right. Get out of that. Come on. Okay, so then we also, remember we talked about header and footers. You can add those in the bottom, the top. You can add in the page numbers, any of that stuff. You can type in what you want. I usually type in saved document. Can't really see it because those things are in the way. Document as file 1. Okay. So that's usually what I do for header and footers. So I remember how I saved it. You can put your page numbers in there. You can, wherever you want to position them, you can do that. Okay. If you wanted to, I know on the project that I gave you, you wanted to add a text box, you can add a text box. Again, you can type anything you want in here, and then you can change whatever you want your effects to be. So if I want to change the color in here or anything like that, I can do that. To see how I changed in the text box there. And you can do anything like that. You can change your fill, your outline. You have a whole nother tab when you're adding in a text box, so you can do whatever you need to do there. Okay. All right. So this text box, I think that was it. Oh, and your new word art. And we kind of talked about that. You can add in whatever you want to add in. Again, you have another tab and you can make this however you want. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go over to design next. Design is really very simple. We get some different titles, like however you want to do your titles. They're just little templates here. Again, your font colors or different colors of how you want your scheme to be. Okay, and then we also talked about the watermarks. So if you want something to be confidential, you can see it's in the background there, confidential. If you wanted to change the color of your whole page, you can do that. But like I said, be very careful because ink is very expensive. You don't want to keep replacing the cartridges. Your page borders, again, it's in 2 spots. You can change your borders or you can put in your art, whatever you want to do. Right there. That is design. Okay. So design is probably the easiest one. You have some themes, like I said, you can change some of your colors, your fonts for your whole page at once, your watermarks, your page colors, and your page borders. Okay. Over to layout is everything we've been talking about. We have your margins, your orientation is, remember, if you want it landscape or portrait. Okay. So, and then your size of your paper, we talked about that. If you want to do it legal, I don't want to get into all the other things because I just think we don't really use a lot of those. We talked about the columns. If you wanted to do like a newsletter with 3 different columns, I don't know if it will really work with all of this stuff I have in here right now, but you can make 3 different columns. Your page breaks, remember I said if you wanted to cut the page, you could break the page right there, but it would stop and go right on to the next page. And it's freezing on me. So I'm going to give it a minute. I'm going to stop there for a second. Your left, right indent. Okay. And then like what you want before your paragraph spacing, which we've talked about already in the other areas. Okay. So that's layout. Like I said, it's all your margins. If we talked about this before, you narrow all of that stuff, what you need to do there. Okay. Just want to make sure. Okay. I'm going over to the reference tab. Remember I said I didn't want to spend a lot of time with this. This is if you're working on essays or, you know, term papers or anything like that that you're in college for. You can add in the bibliography was the big one. Make sure it's an MLA format. And then inserting your citations is where you got your work from. Okay. So this is the reference tab. You know, like I said. And then again, you have your table of contents in there. Sometimes you might use that if you need to do for an office job. Okay. See. Okay, so there's that. And then all right. So I'm going to skip over mailings right this second, and then I'm going to go over to review. And then I'm going to stop the recording there for a minute and then stop. So remember, in your review is spelling, thesaurus. If you need to get a word count of how many words are in your document, is right there. You can also do your translation or different languages here. Okay. And then if you needed to put in a comment for somebody that, like, if you want them to review your document. Okay. So we've talked about review a bunch of times. So spelling, thesaurus, word count, translation, language, that's what your review is. Okay. I'm going to stop there for a second. I'm just going to pause to make sure there's no questions. Then where is my recording? Just going to stop there for a second. I just want to make sure.